coolest things about skateboarding and skateboarding culture collectively is it celebrates individualism. One of the things that I hate about Skater XL is custom gear is really difficult or really annoying. So kick back with me and I'm going to show you how to make custom clothing in Skater XL. Let's do it. Hey, what's up? I'm Fids. If you watched my last video, I showed you how to make custom boards for Skater XL. This is going to use a couple of similar practices, and if you haven't seen that video, don't stress. Go ahead and watch it after. I'm going to share all the key things you need to know in this video. Let's do it. All right, now there's two different things that you need to understand when it comes to simple customization. Firstly, if we look at this image right here, this is actually a shirt that was done from Last Resort, and it's got a mask that applies with it. And the mask, you'll be able to tell because it has this purpley sort of color that goes along with it. They generally have the same sort of name, but you'll see that they sort of help apply shadowing and texture. Now this Last Resort shirt, you can see it's got all these like gray colors and stuff like that that shoot off of it, and that just helps add to the realism of the shirt. If you want to adjust something like this, you absolutely can, but there's a couple things that you need to understand. Now, there is an actual cotton-like texture that's applied over this shirt. So in simply just trying to white this out and go over it, it's probably going to look like crap. Now, in saying that, you still can use this, but you do have very limited space. So make sure you factor that in. One simple method that I like to use is just the simple flat custom t-shirts. So if we look at this one right here, it's actually got the old Batman logo. I actually know that this logo is centered onto the chest. So I'm actually going to use this to make my new shirt. But one of the things that make it a little bit easier as well is because it doesn't have all those effects and that texturing to it. I don't have to worry about encroaching on space. I just have to be aware of positioning. I'm actually going to bring in the image I want to add and then use this current shape as a template so that I can position it right and then change the color. Now, one of the cool things that we can do is we can actually just take existing board brands or even design aesthetics and add it in. So this would absolutely work if you wanted to add a shirt that you already have, or maybe a shirt that you saw online that you want to add the design into. You can do the same thing. I've seen this Zero design, I really like it, and I want to add it into the game. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, I'm just dragging this over onto my template here. I say my template like I made this template. I didn't make this template, but we're just going to add this onto here. Now, like I was saying before, right, we're going to use this to help us shape up the sizing and the positioning. So now we've just used that as a baseline to help us get the positioning right. Now I'm really happy with this. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to hide this now. And now I can use the eyedropper to match the color, which I've already done. And then we're going to go ahead and wipe this guy out. And then when we reveal the hidden layer, you can actually see now the logo's on the shirt. Now, one thing I will specify, and I didn't really specify this very well in the last video, you want to make sure that this is saved as a PNG. It's just the right file format for it to be able to be read in the game. And the other thing is that there's a naming convention or a naming style that follows along with these files. Make sure you keep it the same. If you amend it, you could actually ruin it. So to give you an idea, this says M shirt for male shirt. Obviously, if I put F shirt, it will make it a female shirt. If I took the M off, it wouldn't read it. Now, all I need to do is just save a copy of this in my gear folder and it's going to pop up. Now, this right here is a little bit more convoluted. This is going to be customizing an LA shirt. Now, an LA shirt is like a button-up shirt that goes over. It's a short sleeve shirt, a little bit baggier, and it has a file that goes along with it that allows for movement texture. So it makes it actually a dynamic shirt, which is really cool in the game. We can actually customize both the overshirt color, that's this tartan sort of lumberjack print, and we can also amend the undershirt, which is the white. There's two different layers that we can see here, so I've just labeled them undershirt, and this is background copy. This is just the default name for it. Now we can actually add in a whole different fabric and see what that looks like. I came across this pattern, I thought it looked really cool, and because of the fact that it's repetitive, it allows me to copy and paste it a few times to fill in the space and to really play around with sizing. Let's go ahead and use this. I want it to be as seamless as possible for when these patterns overlay on each other. And the easiest way I've found to do that is to sort of consider the space that you're working with. So this right here actually works as a really good example because it's got these squares. And so I'm actually going to use these squares as a bit of a guide. So we'll put that right there. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to drag that right here. Now you can see they almost line up. So if I just sort of squeeze them in, I can get them to lay over to a point where it becomes indistinguishable that they're there. I'm going to just rinse and repeat this. Now we can see I've got the pattern fully tiled over, so you can't actually see the undershirt. Not a problem. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use my previous shape as again, a bit of a template. And what I'm factoring in is that get the undershirt pattern, I really only need to amend the top two. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out. So the easiest way I've found is just to have the opacity or how transparent these images are slightly changed, just so that it makes it a little bit easier for me to see the image behind. That way I've got a clear understanding of what spaces I'm going to be cutting out. Next is the easy part, just using the pen tool to cut out the shape and delete it. So now that the upper right's been done, I'm going to complete it on the top left. Zoom right out. It overall looks good. Now again, I need to make sure that I follow the naming convention, LA shirt. This is just to make sure that the dynamic factor of the design of the shirt flows into the game. I'm just going to rename the overall pattern so that's easier for me to find. Now this right here is the first simple t-shirt design that I did. Now you can see that the logo and the positioning looks mint. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I used a shirt that already has a logo on it and I was able to sort of position it. If you don't have that luxury, then just get a blank shirt, whack it on, and you'll just have to keep going in and out of the game to get the positioning right. Obviously, if you're just doing a simple shirt, you don't need any sort of extra mods to be able to do this. And look at this, like that looks really cool. See the overall texture of the yarn? It's sort of like, oh man, it looks really, really cool. It looks very different. I think I'm going to use this. Let's go Big Apple Park. This map is so good, man. This map is so good. Now, one of the cool things that I like about this is the fact that the shirt moves with the skater. And so it adds this extra element of realism that is just makes the game feel so much more fun to play. Oh, nollie crook. And then like flip up, something on and off the rail, and then like maybe over that. Let's go. Because a switch. There's just so many lines to hit with this map, dude. Let's get something down this stair set. Thinking down onto the rail will look pretty cool. And then like down the stair set. You know, like, and then something that could look really cool. I just don't want to go too far over. Alright, I think that's the move. So tail to fakie and then cab. One of the things I really like is this ledge. This like elevated ledge up here. I think that's it. First go, bro. Already got it. Oh my god, that looks so nice. Alright, that's what we're going to use. I can't seem to get it. That's what I'm doing. Very hill up and then frontside big spin off. Let's go, like, I want something on this and then back into the... But not as easy as that. I want something a little bit more stylistic. Not so... Kinda looks cool. I just don't know how I feel about the ollie back in. I mean, you might be able to get it bump back in. Oh, like a Sucho pivot. Yeah, like a Sucho pivot could look really cool. Alright guys, well look, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do enjoy making Skater XL content. I'm not entirely sure what you guys enjoy watching. If there's something specific that you want to see, let me know. Something I am toying around with and trying to maybe do would be a bit of like a how-to guide on realism, as I do the most unrealistic trick ever. But if you'd like to see something about, you know, how I do my stat setups and how I approach trying to make the game look ultra realistic, or as realistic as I can possibly make it, let me know in the comments. But yeah, thank you so much for kicking it with me, and until I see you next time, make sure you're looking after yourself. You take care and be safe. Alright, peace.